All right, I'm so excited. Today we're talking about my little homestead. Hey there, Christina Cooper here, back in another video, and I'm so excited about this because this is like nothing else that I have put out on my YouTube channel, and this is a whole nother series that I am going to be sharing, which is all about our little homestead. So I'm pretty sure we've seen it all over YouTube and everywhere else. People are creating their homesteads. And I am so excited because God has called me to start doing this. And I think it's definitely a large part to rededicating my life, but also getting a better understanding of how my health is and what I can do in order to live a healthier life for not only myself but for my children, my entire family. And it is starting off pretty exciting. So I'm definitely going to talk about our little seedlings and show you a little bit about how we are creating our little a little indoor germination process. I did not create this, totally got this from someone else, so I will be sharing their credit as well with that. But they're doing well, so I'll be showing that. But let's take a little bit of a journey here about how I decided to go down this path of creating our own little homestead. Now, I had been battling issues with my health since I was 18 years old. A lot of spinal and neurological conditions that I've experienced. With every pregnancy, they've just got worse. And so with arthritis, arachnoiditis, fibromyalgia, degenerative disc, all the list continues to go on, but we're not going to go down that little rabbit hole there. But all to say that what I'm finding now is just means to be able to do better, and after diving into hustle culture, which I'm doing a series right now where we're talking about prosperity gospel, new thought, and hustle culture and how they're all connected. And I'll put a link to that so you can check that out. I just started that series. So I'll be deep diving down that path. But another area that I do believe that the Holy Spirit was helping me with, which was how to take control over my health. And in the United States, it is not something that is the easiest to do because it is not the most encouraged. Although it may be deceptive to think that it is, it actually is not. And so there is probably about 70% when you go to the grocery store of things that are just not conducive to a healthy lifestyle, and that's just a reality. But if we don't realize that, we don't recognize that, and so now we put us in this position to where now we do have to do our research, just like with the series that I'm working on. This is another area where we just have to go through and look and find our own way, But then God's word does say, what? Be in this world, but not of this world. So while we're trying to be in this world, we're struggling when it's like we need to just lean on Him and do as He would have us to do. So we're getting back to the roots, okay? Literally. And so, but one of the biggest things that He did come and talk to me about, and this was early one morning, and I do equate this to my brother too, because my brother's really big in health and working out, like he's like the epitome of health and has been when it comes to staying fit. But I struggled for a very long time when it comes to my health. When I was young, I broke 400 pounds by the time I got to like graduate middle school. Like, I was always extremely overweight, but I still was very active. And so finding that it wasn't the fact that I wasn't active or that I was lazy or that I was an overeater even. It was the fact of what I was eating, how my body metabolized it, how my body responded to it, and it didn't respond into a positive way. So and that just goes to show you that you just never know people's story or what they're going through, and to assume that whatever you see is what you perceive it to be. It just simply is not, And so, but more recently, the Holy Spirit led me to start getting up and going to the gym, but not to do some massive workouts or do, but just to walk. He just said, go to the gym, just get up and start walking. And so that's what I did, but this did come after I had got extremely sick. And I still have my fair share of doctor's appointments as well. But I do find that, it's interesting how these things start to come up after you follow and do what he says do. You do what he tells you to do, and then afterwards it's like, oh, that's why he wanted me to do that, right? So I am dealing with a little bit of neuropathy, I think, at this point in my legs, and like literally I can't feel my toes, people. I just can't even feel my toes. We're still working on that part. A lot of very low B12 deficiency. We're still trying to sort that whole part out, but I'm not gonna bore you with my medical issues that we're working on. But better though, and that's the thing. What this transition has caused is for things to be better than they were. I was bedridden. I couldn't go up and down the steps. Trouble, just breathing. Still taking it slow, but now I can get up and at least make breakfast, and do things that I wouldn't normally be able to do, and we take advantage, or we look over the small things, but for me that was huge, because I spent years after that last pregnancy that I had bedridden. And a lot of people don't really actually understand that. Even while I was out here trying to be a part of hustle culture. What was wrong with me, y'all? What was wrong? But anyway, so let's talk a little bit about the homestead journey. So first I decided to start making full meals at home. So we don't do no fast food. No fast food. We pulled that out. And that was a bit of a struggle. I still got some of my little people in the house going like, oh, I would love some McDonald's. No. Hey, just wanted to pop in for a quick break. Are you a business owner or entrepreneur and you are looking to create your website or your course for your business or your ministry? If that is you, then I want you to stop right now, pause this video, and go visit me at cmhcompany.com. I actually partner with Kajabi, and they have an amazing all-in-one platform that is just really, really inexpensive, that allows you to have everything you need all in one place so that you can seamlessly coach and train and have a community, and you can meet with people all over the world, and it is absolutely wonderful. And what I do is just make sure everything looks good and runs smoothly. So if that is you, definitely check me out at cmhcompany.com. All right, back to the video. I'm like, I know how to make some mac sauce, some scratch, and some burgers and some buns. We're gonna make it at home, right? But it's because we need to understand what's in it, right? What is in the food, so we make sure so that we can take better care. We're finding that there are certain things that are just, that they are preservatives and things that just don't sit well with the body, right? And so, and it does prevent the body from being able to heal properly and work the way that God will have it to work. So there. But either way, so started with the cooking. So now we're cooking more things at home. We're working to try and make more things from scratch at home. And now that the weather is starting to break a little bit, we are starting to plant our seeds so that we can start growing some of our own food. Now, I am a renter at the moment, and so what I'm doing, everything that I'm doing is renter friendly. So if you are interested in doing these sorts of things, then these things will be very easy and simple to do. So you don't have to worry about, like having to dig up the backyard or anything like that, or you don't got a backyard, especially where we're starting right now. Just using a shelf from IKEA and some Ziploc bags and some potting soil and some seeds from the dollar store and from I think we got seeds from somewhere else as well, but really, really inexpensive. And then voila, and some water. That's it, y'all. That is it. And boom, they growing. And so I'm excited. So take a look. All right, so again, I got this from someone on YouTube, Finding Joy in the Garden. Great channel. You should go and subscribe, especially if you are looking to start your own little garden. Tons of great ways that you can do this setup, and this is just one that I had chose, and I linked it down in the description box. So first we're going to need the premium potting mix. This is what she had recommended, and I think it's doing great because my plants are growing so far. And then you're going to need just a little shovel I got from the dollar store, some scissors, some popsicle sticks, some clothespins, those from the dollar store, a spray bottle for water, again from the dollar store, and then these Ziploc bags, which I had my son grab. I used the regular like name brand Ziploc bags for the first set, and then we just got these from the dollar store. So really, really inexpensive and easy to do to get started. Now, I also have a plan that I created, and if you are interested in what my seeding plan is going for the entire year, I would be happy to share that with you. But I have like an entire plan of what I'm going to be doing, and so that's what is up top there as well. So let's go ahead and put let's put some seeds in. Let's start sowing some seeds. Okay, so again, I just used a bucket from the dollar store again, and I just put the soil in there, and now what I'm going to need to do is I'm going to have to add some water. And so I just pour a little water in there, and I kind of just feel it, and I put a glove on, and you don't have to, but then you just kind of play in the dirt. So you just kind of just move it around to make sure that all of the soil has moisture. It kind of feels almost like grits when you didn't whisk them in, right? So you got those big chunks, so you want to kind of separate those things out. And then when you squeeze, you want to see that there is some water there, but you don't want it to turn into mud. Okay, and then next what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the bags and I'm going to be cutting the ends, just cutting a short triangle out of each end, and then I'm going to fold it in the middle, so then that way I can so that it can breathe, because we want them to be able to breathe not just from the top of the bag but also from the bottom. So I'm just going through and cutting those triangles out. Now the dollar store bags don't have like that kind of bit, like that bottom spacing that kind of sits flat when you open it up. But I don't know, I think they still worked out just fine. So so I'm going to cut just a fold and then cut a little triangle right here. There we go. And voila. Okay, so here are the seeds where I'm planting is the tomato, and on the back, and it may not look just like this, but on the back it will tell you what territory you're in and when you should start sowing. And these, which is super, super helpful. And then it also tells you how far down that you're going to want to plant your seeds. So all of these said about 1/2 to 1/4 inch down, and so the Sharpie is super helpful for this. Again, another great tip from the resource that I found. And so we're gonna start with the tomatoes, and then I like to fold the bag over, just makes it easier to kind of put everything in. And so I'm going to just kind of scoop some of the soil into the bag. Now it might get a little messy, it might come out of the holes just a little bit, but it actually isn't as messy as it might seem it would be putting the bag with holes in it. but it works. And so I just kind of put in enough so that it levels through maybe about 2 inches, I would say, of soil, maybe 2 to 3 inches of soil into the bag, so that there is plenty, and so it's a nice solid base. Okay, and then so I kind of spread it out a little bit, and then you kind of want to shape it, kind of almost look like a football, like a flat football a little bit. And then you want to kind of pat the top. You don't want it to be like too dense, but just enough so that it's like a slightly solid. Okay, and so this is me just trying to kind of mold it just a little bit before I put in the holes to start planting the seeds. There we go. All right. And so now the Sharpie is super helpful for making the holes because it just gives you just enough space. Again, you look at the back, like this says 1/4 depth to soil. It says 1/4. So kind of eyeball this, but just the tip of the Sharpie, and then you just kind of poke down in and give some spacing here. And now don't count me a pro, y'all, okay? This is my first time going through this entire process. But so far things have been working out really great. And so you're going to want to put, now some people put multiple seeds in the holes. I stuck with just one seed in each hole, and they seem to be doing pretty good. But these are the seeds. Each one's, they come out different. Some are black and some are super, super tiny. So to forewarn, the last batch I did where I did six bags, I had the kids do it with their tiny little hands. They were so perfect. But I just used my nail to kind of make this thing work. But if you can see them, you can see them in the holes a little bit. And then now I'm just gonna take the Sharpie and I am just going to just kind of fill the hole in just a little bit to cover the seeds. And not to make it too like padded, just to cover. All right. Now, one thing that I can say is that with the Ziploc bags, I've had some trouble with keeping them standing up. So I did just recently get the popsicle sticks to start putting on the sides of the bags, and I think I'm actually going to double them, like maybe put 2 popsicle sticks together, because these are gallon size bags. I don't know if I noted that. These are gallon size bags. And so I'm gonna spray some water in here, just enough for the top of, and you don't want to spray too much. Again, you don't want it to you add too much water, then it could start to get a bit moldy, and we don't want that. So, and if that happens, all you got to do is just vent the bag. But you see now, I'm just using 2, one on each side, and that was very helpful. But when you start to see them growing, you'll notice how the bag kind of collapsed a little bit on them. And I mean, they're like my little babies. And so I'm like, oh, they're falling on your head. So the bag is falling on their head. And so I think I'm gonna add additional popsicle sticks so that it sits up a little bit higher. So now at the top, again, we add the holes at the bottom. We're gonna wanna add holes at the top as well, because we wanna make sure that they can breathe from the top also, because they are live, people, they're live. So I use the clothespin to keep it open, so then that way, because if you don't, it will kind of pretty much close for the most part. So now this keeps a nice wide opening, and then I just kind of close it just a little bit and keep a little wide spacing, just like this. Now this works good when you take them and put them outside. And here we go, because I have them inside on an IKEA shelf, y'all. This shelf from IKEA for like $17 I got like years ago. I put it in the basement. And so I've got my light on. But look at them, y'all. They look good. They're looking so good, aren't they? But can you see how the back kind of bends down a little bit? Like, that's what I mean by, like, I'll probably add an extra popsicle stick on each side, so then that way, maybe just like with some tape or something so they stand up taller. But look, parsley was the last one to sprout, and look, there's parsley. And then, I mean, the cabbage, one of the first. Oh, isn't it amazing? It's so exciting. Now I'm gonna keep you updated on how the process is going, whether good or bad, and I'll be sharing some of the recipes and things that I am making, what we're eating. So if you go to ChristinaMHooper.com and you click on what we're eating, I've been trying to start logging all of the recipes that I have been making, and some are, I mean, they're not like like gluten, vegan, all that type of stuff, but they do have some alternative options in there if you are. As of right now, I am a vegetarian, pescatarian, and so a little bit more laxed. I just don't eat the meat. But there are some great alternatives I like to put in there. So if you do find something that you like, that there are some options that you can, that you can swap out some different things. So, super exciting. So a couple of things that we do make from home. So I like coffee creamer, totally at home from scratch. Bread, we don't even buy bread no more. Bread from scratch. Mayo from scratch. What else? There's a lot of things. I should make a list. I'm gonna make a list of some things that you know what? Join my newsletter. Join my newsletter, and I will make a list of some of the things that we are doing from scratch. Some that that I did glean from other people. I'll put their information in there as well. They've been so helpful on YouTube, so amazing. And some people that I do follow as well. They are so great. They have great resources. They make some delicious recipes. So make mama look good. And so, but yes, so I'm super excited. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and like, comment, let me know. Are you feeling inspired to start your own homestead? Do you think that this is something that you can simply, easily do to get started? For me, it is easy. It's right next to our homeschooling section. So we just got to come down, turn on the light, and we just, and I'm teaching the kids, and we're working through it together. And it's just something that we check in. They're like family that we do, and we check in on them every day. So it does make it pretty simple. So far, this is just the beginning now, y'all. This is just the beginning. But more to come. Well, it has been a pleasure, and I cannot wait to see you in another video. Bye-bye.